Hi guys! So I'm excited to share with you my book that I picked for my book presentation. So for mine I picked The Great Fuzz Frenzy, and it's by Janet Stevens and Susan Stevens Crummell. So basically this book is about a group of prairie dogs that find a tennis ball, and they figure out that they can pick the fuzz off of it and find all kinds of fun things to do with the fuzz. And so the reason that I like this book so much is I think it does a really good job with vocabulary. I think you could use it to teach vocabulary to young kids. It especially makes a good use of alliteration and rhyming and onomatopoeia. And I also really like the artwork and the contrast of colors. So even just on the cover page, you can see that obviously prairie dogs live underground, and so a lot of the book is going to be brown. But the tennis ball adds just a really good contrast. So with a lot of picture books, the story starts before the words start, and so this is, ignore that. You can see the dog with the tennis ball, and he is, and all of a sudden he doesn't have his tennis ball anymore. So the first page is interesting. Instead of being a horizontal layout, you need to go vertical, and you'll notice that they do this whenever you're looking above ground and below ground at the same time. So it says, down it went, boink, boink, run for your life, thump, thump, and then it opens up to show it going down even further. Help, help, help! And one thing I like so far about this, you'll notice that the onomatopoeia words, boink, boink, and thump, thump, are in a different font, and they're bigger than the narration or the dialogue. So it just kind of sets it apart and puts emphasis on it. And so there's one more, plunk, when the ball finally stops. And another thing I wanted to point out, I really like the texture that's in this illustration. You can see on the tennis ball, it almost looks like it's actually going to be fuzzy when you touch it, but obviously it's not. So they all gather around the tennis ball and are trying to figure out what to do with it. And one prairie dog says, stand back, don't touch it, and he's kind of set apart from everybody because he has his little hat on and he is angry. So this page is different than the ones we've seen so far in the narrated portion of the story, and it's interesting because it has a white border around it, and this page is the first page where any of the prairie dogs actually touches the fuzz. So he touches it and finds out, hey, that's kind of fun. So everybody wants a part of the fuzz. And I also really like the way that the words are put on this page. So they're saying, I like it, me too, I want some, do you? Oh yes, so do I, so do we, so do they. And so they're all fighting over the fuzz. And you can see also this one prairie dog is just mad. So, on both of these pages, the illustrations do a really good job of working with the narration. And so this part says, They were busy being hot dogs and silly dogs, corny dogs and frilly dogs, top dogs, funny dogs, super dogs, bunny dogs. And so it's kind of a fun play on prairie dogs, but talking about all the different dogs they can be, so you can see how it works with the text. You have a superhero and a bunny, which I think is really fun. And then here's another page where you can see above ground and below ground, and this is where all of the neighborhood prairie dogs hear about the fuzz. So eventually, all of the fuzz runs out, and it shows it with another one of these pages with a white border, and it just shows the tennis ball that doesn't have any fuzz on it. So of course, anarchy breaks out in the prairie dog community, and they're all fighting, and they eventually all just fall over, exhausted. So one thing I wanted to show you, this is them all exhausted with fuzz everywhere, and there's this one prairie dog, like, plotting something. And they all wake up to find that the one prairie dog has taken all of their fuzz, so you can see him wearing it. But the picture that I wanted to show is this. It's kind of interesting because you have to use the narration and then descriptive words to figure out really what happened. So you just see swoop, and then you can kind of see some texture here and then some white feathers, and so you can kind of guess what happened, but you have to flip the page to really know that it was a bald eagle that came and grabbed that prairie dog that took all the fuzz. And so eventually he wiggles out and the prairie dogs catch him, and they decide they don't need fuzz anymore and all go back into the prairie dog hole. And I like the last page of this book because it just shows the dog. Here he is with another tennis ball above the prairie dog hole. So I thought that was kind of a fun way to end it. But I really liked this book. Again, like, I thought it was really good for teaching vocabulary and teaching students different elements of writing and of speaking, different ways that you can get your point across or tell a story. So hopefully everyone gets a chance to take a closer look at it because it's really fun.